Let me take this mask off, that just for once I may look on you with my own eyes.
Hello and welcome to ZDA Press. I'm Zach. I'm an independent self-published author, a freelance editor, and cover designer, and happy Star Wars Day! Hooray! Just kidding. This is going up on a Friday, which means it's not Star Wars Day. But it was recently. Earlier this week was May the 4th. Last Monday was May 4th. And so I wanted to try and capitalize on that in a way, if you couldn't tell from the bit in the opening. And I've been really slammed with work lately. With the book launch happening very soon, in just 1 week from recording, so it'll be even sooner for you. It'll be like, let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days away for you. My next novel, The Midnight Ruby 2nd Edition, will release on May 12th, and so look forward to that. I've been posting every day in the lead up to that, every day for the 2-week lead up to the book launch, and that has been a ton of work. I've been posting reels every day on Instagram, which I've then been repurposing over here on my YouTube channel. So if you'd like to learn more about The Midnight Ruby, the book that's going to come out on this coming Tuesday, head on over to the Reels tab on this page, and you'll be able to find a ton of information about the book over there. All that to say, I was looking for something that I could do that was a little kind of low stress, low effort for this week's video, to keep a regular posting schedule, which is the bane of my existence and very hard to achieve. For those of you who are, make this kind of stuff all the time, you know that it's a grind. And so I was trying to capitalize on the Star Wars Day theme, and then I thought, well, what have I got? This is a books channel or a storytelling, story crafting channel, so I want to keep it thematic. And so I was looking through my bookshelf, and then I happened to find these right here. And yes, I did reorganize the bookshelf just for today. This is certainly not permanent. Just something to capitalize on the Star Wars Day. I've got on this side, I've got my Lego Imperial Shuttle, which is one of my favorite ships in Star Wars. I've got Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi, it's the best lightsaber. Argue the wall. And then in the middle here, I'll go this way, these books. This is a fabulous series. If you have not read it, I highly recommend it. It is William Shakespeare's Star Wars. These fabulous books are written by Ian Doescher, and they're retellings of Star Wars if they're written by Shakespeare. And that's not just a fancy way of saying, well, they're put into early England and that sort of stuff. No. Mr. Ian Doescher has done his homework, as this is entirely written out. Also, absolutely gorgeous illustrations on these. It's written out like a play, as you can see. And it is written out in full iambic pentameter, which for the poetry nerds, you know that's Shakespeare only wrote in iambic pentameter. I think only. There are probably exceptions. There's exception to every rule. But everything in the book is written like a full-blown Shakespeare play, and it is phenomenal. The one I've got here is Return of the Jedi, or as Shakespeare would call it, The Jedi Doth Return. It's got excellent artwork of a very Bard-inspired Jabba the Hutt here. You've got Luke and the Emperor duking it out. So much intention put into these covers, and they're all like this. He's done all of the main movies in the Skywalker saga, including those 3 fan films that Disney made that aren't very good. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. Just to give you a taste of what is to come should you read these excellent books, and I highly recommend them, especially if you're a Star Wars fan, especially if you're a Star Wars and Shakespeare fan. These are just rife with details. So let me just read you the prologue, and there it is. It's on the page right here, prologue. This functions as the title crawl in Star Wars. So this is prologue, outer space, enter chorus, and the chorus says, "Oh, join us, friends and mortals, on the scene, another chapter of our cosmic tale. Luke Skywalker returns to Tatooine to save his friend Han Solo from his jail within the grasp of Jabba the Hutt. But while Luke doth the timely rescue scheme, the vile galactic empire now hath cut new plans for a space station with a beam more awful than the first feared Death Star's blast. This weapon ultimate shall, when complete, mean doom for those within the rebel caste who fight to earn the taste of freedom sweet. In time so long ago begins our play, in hope-filled galaxy far, far away." If that's not literature, I don't know what is. Now, for those of you who've seen Star Wars, you might be wondering what happens in this book when, say, R2-D2 speaks, because he talks to other droids and makes a lot of beeping and booping sounds, which is quite funny, because he does in this. Things are written out as beep and boop, but also he's got full Shakespearean asides to himself. An aside, for those of you who don't know, are not fans of plays of that type. An aside is basically an inner monologue or a way of a character speaking out their thoughts on the stage. And on the stage, of course, none of the other actors or none of the other characters in the play can hear it, but you, the audience, are meant to hear it as it's meant to deliver seminal information. And Ian Doescher has conventions like this for most of the characters in his book. At the back of the book, he's got an afterword where he tells you about it and some of his writing processes, and I'll read you some excerpts. Writing the William Shakespeare Star Wars trilogy meant I had more and more ground rules of my own making to remember with each volume. In Verily A New Hope, that's the original Star Wars, I established the vocabulary of R2-D2's beeps and Chewbacca's growls, and the fact that R2 speaks English when he is alone, and the Shakespearean devices of rhyming couplets at the end of scenes, and of course the iambic pentameter throughout. In The Empire Strikes Back, I added Yoda speaking in haiku, Han and Leia speaking in rhyming quatrains to each other when alone, like Romeo and Juliet, and Boba Fett speaking in prose. By the time of this third installment, keeping these rules in mind while adding new ones, the Ewoks' manner of speaking, Admiral Akbar's line endings, and so forth, was quite a juggling act. But what fun it has been immersing myself in this universe that I love and having an opportunity to put words into the mouths of the characters I have known for decades. Things like that, the dedication to the style and the convention of Shakespeare, of having Han and Leia speaking in rhyming quatrains to each other like Romeo and Juliet. I know he also mentions, as he went on to write the sequel trilogy, and I read the afterword of that. He mentioned that all of the villains speak in villanelles, which is certainly true for this one. I think that is a recurring writing device that he uses throughout all of the full saga, is that each of the villains speak in villanelles. Not a perfect villanelle, because there'd be so much repetition, but just the rhyme scheme of a villanelle. And so like I mentioned, he's done the full saga. I don't know if he's done ones for like Rogue One or Solo or any of the offshoot movies like that. If he has, I'm curious now. I'm going to go look it up because I want to find out, and I would certainly like to read them. I've read the full saga, aside from 7. I haven't gotten my hands on that one yet, but eventually I'll complete the collection. But I've got, of course, the original 6, which are the only ones that matter in terms of Star Wars, and then 7, 8, and 9. Well, 8 and 9. And so that'll about do it for today. I wanted something a little more casual, something fun and lighthearted to capitalize on the May 4th Star Wars Day coming and going, and something that gives me a little break and hopefully won't have to spend too much time in the edit with, as I'm still posting everything every day in the lead up to the Midnight Ruby relaunching on May 12th. So I've been very, very busy, and that's only a few of the projects I've been working on. I've been so busy lately, and so all for a good reason, and hopefully I'll have a lot more information to give you on what I've been working on very soon. But thank you so much for watching this. If you do read, or if you have read the Shakespeare Star Wars saga, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if there's any other books that I should read. I know I started the Timothy Zahn Thrawn trilogy a little while back, and I've let it fall to the wayside, but I want to get back to it because I love Thrawn as a character. He's one of my favorite Star Wars characters, and I certainly want to see how he's fleshed out in a literature format. Thank you again so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one as a more fun, light-hearted episode, just looking into something that's a bit more of a fascinating blend of genres and styles to surprisingly excellent effect. These books are so well written. Actually, before we go, let me read you one more section. Again, as a refresher, this is from the, Return of the Jedi. To set the scene for you, this is when Luke has surrendered himself to Vader, and they have their conversation on the little catwalk outside of the AT-AT. And I'm going to read the end of that because Vader has an aside here, which is very, very good. Luke says, we're going to go back and forth with Luke and Vader. "O search thy feelings, Father. Thou canst not do this to me. I feel the conflict rise within thee. Let thy hatred go. Be free." Vader says, "It is too late for me, my son. I shall deliver thee unto the Emperor. 'Tis he who shall reveal to thee the true and powerful nature of the Force. He is thy master now, and thou shalt serve him well." Luke says, "Then I may say these words with confidence. My father who once lived is truly dead." Exit Luke Skywalker with stormtroopers guarding. Again, it's like a play. All of the stage directions are written out there for you. Vader says to himself, this is an aside, Oh, what a rogue and peasant Sith am I! This turmoil in my spirit doth not suit a dark and vicious warlord like myself. My son, a rebel, fickle-minded fate that e'er would be so cruel to have me see it. And not a simple rebel, nay, but he a hero, noble, brave, and true, a lad whose character befits his parentage. Were he within the Empire's ranks employed, I would be proud to govern by his side. A worthy lad is he, of virtues full, a Jedi Knight and powerful in the Force, a brave, courageous, cunning warrior, a shadow of my former noble self. Yet if he will not turn, he'll be destroyed. Oh, shall it be? The strands of fate do seem to wind themselves about my neck as if to strangle me and drag me down into the measureless, uncharted depths of my beloved Emperor's most perfect will. Thus shall I drown within the dark side's pull, a murky grave to bury Vader's soul. The rudder of my conscience runs not straight. Thus I am towed along toward my fate. Incredible stuff. Just, I love it. I'm a sucker for stuff like that, of characters going through existential crises, especially picking apart the character of Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. Just, you need to read these. If you haven't read them yet, I cannot recommend them highly enough. They are phenomenally well written, so introspective, and getting to use the Shakespearean tool belt and getting to see an aside of a character in a scene like that. Because, of course, in the movie, at the end of that scene after Luke walks away, Vader doesn't say anything else. He just sort of stands and stares off into the distance, and you're left to imagine what he's thinking. In a book like this, you get to see and pick apart and dissect the character in his mind, and feel and see on the page what he's thinking or what's going through his head. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a little bit more because this, it's phenomenally well written, so well done, such an intricate look at Star Wars, and elevated in a way that, like, especially the prequels. Even if you don't like the prequels as much as the original trilogy, God, they were meant to be done on a Shakespearean type of stage and on that kind of level of importance. So long wrap up, long exit aside. Thank you so much for watching again. I'll get out of your hair now. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next week, and stay posted on the channel because I'm putting up reels every day. I'm putting them up on Instagram first and then reels second. So if you're on Instagram, you see it first. By a few minutes, if for what that's worth. Detailing new information about the Midnight Ruby, which releases again on May 12th. So look for that. I cannot wait to see you there. I should have some launch details and events coming up soon, very soon, that I'll be posting about, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, that'll about wrap it up for today. So I'll see you next week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one.